Hey guys, it's nice to be here. My name is Nuwan, and it's nice to see you all. Although I'm seeing you in a small box on a Zoom window. Wish I could have been there physically, but given the circumstances, I had to present virtually. So thanks for attending this event. And as I said before, it's a pleasure to be here and presenting our vision on the WSO2 platform. I play the role of Vice President and Deputy CTO for the API management and integration space at WSO2. So I've been here for almost 11 years now. Started off as an engineer in the WSO2 ESP product, and then moved on to the WSO2 API manager product, and from the engineering side, and I got to lead that product. I am now primarily focused on Choreo, which is a platform that I'll be talking about today as well. So I also play the role of product manager for Choreo. And yeah, so that's about me. And I also am the author of the Microservices Security in Action book. So you can reach out to me through Nuwan. That is my LinkedIn and Twitter handle. So happy to get in touch with one of you if you want. All right. So to get started, let me explain the vision behind the WSO2 platform going forward, and what we are building basically, and the reason for doing that, of course, right? So if you look at the evolution of technology over the past couple of decades, we have been consuming technology in different ways. So we have started consuming technology on green screens, and then there was the birth of the desktop computer, personal computer, and then with the growth of the internet, there were web apps being long, and we consume technology services through web apps and later through mobile apps and wearables. And in the future, we will see a lot more evolutions coming in, possibly in the forms of Web 3.0, in the forms of metaverse, and in many other forms that we cannot imagine. But fundamentally, if you look at us human beings, what we have been consuming haven't really changed a lot. But what has changed is how we consume them, right? So if you look at human beings, we like to listen to music. Now, the way we listen to music hasn't, the fact that we listen to music and entertain ourselves hasn't changed, but the way we have consumed listening to music has changed dramatically, from cassette tapes, from records to cassette tapes to CDs to iPods, and now it's primarily through Spotify and our mobile phones, I guess, right? So we fundamentally we entertain ourselves through music, but the way we do that has changed significantly with various advancements in technology, and this applies to all other areas, like take shopping, take banking, take housing, take traveling. Everything everything fundamentally is the same, but the way in which we consume them has changed. So what's happening is these things will continue to evolve, and as organizations providing digital services to customers, our responsibility as technology organizations, and your responsibility as organizations providing digital solutions, is to stay on par so that you can change the experiences of the services that you give to your customers. That's basically the challenge that we are dealing with in the world today, right? So if you put yourselves in the shoes of your customers, if I put myself in the shoes of our customers, what they are expecting are personalized experiences, are real-time experiences, are geo-sensitive experiences, and predictive experiences, right? So our customers, they expect us to provide technology in ways that in innovative ways, right? So that's basically what our customers are expecting. And so that unique experience that you build for your customers is what is going to be creating the differentiation between you and your competitor in the market, right? So it all depends on how fast you can adapt your services to new digital experiences, and how unique and differentiating they are. So that is basically the challenge that we are dealing with in today's world. Now, this unique digital experience is not something you can buy off the shelf, right? It is something that you must build. You have no choice but to build it, right? The reason I say that is because if this is something that you can buy off the shelf, so can your competitor, right? So if you can buy something, so can your competitor, right? Now, if both of you can buy this experience from the same provider, you don't create any differentiation in the market. You both are effectively the same. So this is why I say this unique digital experience is something that you must build. There is no alternative other than building. But what is the challenge in building this? The challenge in building these experiences are that most of them fail. Most of the digital transformation projects fail. There's a study done by Harvard Business Review. This is done about 2.5 years ago. About 3 years ago, which has found out that more than 70% of digital transformation initiatives fail, right? So that's a huge amount of money that goes down the drain. And the primary reason for this failure is because of the complexity from getting from an idea to actual implementation. These are not bad ideas, right? It's just that the execution and implementation is extremely hard, right? And we see that very clearly in the market today, right? Now, if you are someone who's trying to build everything yourselves using open source technology, now today how you would do that is by leveraging most technology from the CNCF landscape, for example, right? So there are various pieces of technology which addresses different stages of the software development life cycles, from proxies, from API gateways to database solutions to firewalls to container management and all of these stuff, right? So now imagine setting up something where you can deliver software using all of these technology pieces, right? You need a huge amount of knowledge and experience to figure out how to consume all of these bits and pieces and create a platform for yourselves. Now, the Googles, the Amazons, the Facebooks of the world can do this because they have a huge amount of resources, a huge amount of money that they can invest into this. But it's not an easy task for average organizations, and that's the primary reason for those failures that we are seeing, right? And it doesn't really change even if you go SaaS, right? It doesn't really change a lot, even though you may decide to go to the cloud and consume services from the cloud, right? Now, if you look at the AWS service landscape, they have over 200 services as of today, right? So if you're building something on AWS, you basically need a degree on AWS to figure out all the right services, to figure out how they integrate with each other, and to figure out what you need in order to get a production grade platform up and running, right? So it's hugely complicated. And it's not just on AWS, it's the same with Google Cloud, it's the same with Microsoft. So I've just put some pieces together here in this slide to show you what it would take if you were setting up a platform on Azure. Now, these are like a few pieces of technology that you would need to put in, right? So if you are building a platform where you can produce technology changes faster on Azure, this is what it will look like. So you need to handle, first of all, the infrastructure side of the business, right? So that means you need Azure VMs, Azure Kubernetes services, Azure Firewall, and all those technology related to the infrastructure. And once that is set up, you need to set up the development environment, which may include services like Azure Logic Apps, Azure Function Apps, GitHub for source code management, VS Code for develop IDEs, and so on, right? And once the development is done, then comes the deployment part, right? So the deployment part includes things like Azure Container Management, Azure API Gateways, Azure DevOps, Azure Key Vault for storing secrets, and so on, right? And all of these pieces of technology for handling CI/CD and deployment and stuff. And once you set it up, now you need to monitor the system and make sure nothing's failing and they are recovering and so on. And if you were to handle this part, you need things like Azure Log Analytics, Azure Event Hub, and so on, right? Azure Streaming Analytics and so on. So these are just a few pieces of components that I'm talking about and not the whole picture, right? So this is the reality even when you go on into the cloud. Right. So as you can see, building up a platform and setting it up is not an easy task. And that is primarily the reason for all these failures that we are seeing in the market. So another major challenge that customers that we have seen our customers have is building personalized experiences. Right. So what does it take to build personalized experiences for your customers? What it really takes is knowing your customers well enough, right? So do you know your customers well enough so that you can provide a personalized experience? Now, think of an instance of you using Google, right? I'm sure most of you use Google or Microsoft for search and so on, right? Now, if I and one of you go into Google search and enter a particular search string, right? Google is most likely to give us both two different results, right? And that's because they personalize the search results based on my profile. And they do the same for you. They personalize the results based on your profile, right? And that is because Google knows things about me that perhaps I also didn't know about myself, right? So they use all of this information to personalize the experience that you and I are getting on Google, right? Now think about it. We use Google inside WSO2 for as a for our email system. Google basically knows every email that I have sent and received, right? I use Google Maps when traveling, so Google knows every place I've visited, right? So, and all of these things, I store my files on Google Docs. They know what kind of stuff I'm writing and storing on Google Docs, right? They know all of that, right? I mean, it does sound creepy, but that's the reality. I use an Android phone, so Google basically knows about the usages of my apps and so on, right? As well. So they know a whole lot of things about me, and they can use this information to personalize the experience that I'm getting on Google. Whether I'm searching stuff, whether I'm looking for something on maps, they know it, right? So I've had many instances where I typed a search string, and at first instance, I thought that, I could have done a better job in typing that search string, right? But it really didn't matter because Google knew what I was thinking, right? Google knew what I wanted, even though I didn't write the most perfect search string, right? And it gave me the results that I wanted, right? So this is the power of knowing your customer, building that personalized experience. I was recently visiting an airline customer, and they were having this challenge, and they were explaining this problem that they were having, saying, so they have their ticketing systems, they have their duty-free systems, they have their lost luggage systems, check-in systems, and so on. Now, all of these systems had been built in isolation, right? They had no integration with each other. So now they were having a challenge giving personalized experiences to their customers. Like one of the things that they wanted to implement was, say something like one of their loyal customers has lost a luggage, right? Now they wanted to give some sort of a compensation to that customer, to that passenger, right? Like a discount on their next duty-free shopping in the airport, right? Or they wanted to force them a packet of chocolates, right? Now they wanted to build these things, but the problems they were facing was that these systems were not integrated, right? So they didn't really know, what happened to their loyal customers and so on, right? So these are some of the personalized experiences that I was talking about in the beginning, right? So that is what our customers are looking for. So this challenge is addressed by what we call as CIAM, or Customer Identity and Access Management. So CIAM is at the heart of delivering these kinds of personalized experiences, right? So these are two of the major challenges that organizations are having today, and how we have seen our customers deal with this problem is by building a platform for themselves. So WSO2, as you all know, has been for the past 15 years, past 17 years actually, has been in the business of producing open source software for our customers to use. Now, what our customers have done with their software is that they've built platforms. They've built platforms so that they can create APIs, they can secure their identities, and so on. So Gartner also has identified through a study that CIOs are actually building platforms to tackle this problem, right? To simplify the process of their cloud native application development, to simplify the process of getting their changes into production faster, to simplify the process of securing the application. So they are building platforms, right? So we identify that as well with what our customers had been doing using our technology. Now, the issue with that is when you get into that, the huge amount of time and money are spent into building these platforms. So we've had actually large organizations trying to build platforms for periods as long as 3 years. So we have a big customer in the US who tried to build this platform for 3 years, and they actually didn't actually succeed in doing that. But that's the reality, right? So most organizations are investing a lot into these platforms. Now the issue with that is that that's not reflecting what they should be doing, what they actually should be doing in the market, right? What they actually should be doing in the market is building stuff that differentiates them, is building experiences that are unique and differentiated, right? But instead, what's happening is they are spending 75% of their investments on building a platform, and only about 25% of their investments go into the actual building of what is unique and differentiating to them. So that is the challenge and problem we are seeing in the market today, right? So to cater this problem, we are basically we have launched two new products called Choreo and Asgardio from WSO2. So as you all know, we have our open source on-premises API manager and identity server as our core products, and they continue to evolve, and there will be new releases and stuff coming on those two products as well. Now we have launched Choreo as a full lifecycle cloud native developer platform. Now what that does is it addresses all the problems of setting up the platform. So this is a pre-built platform that we are providing to our customers, so that they really don't have to worry about like learning Kubernetes, learning how to do Docker images and stuff like that, learning how to secure those Docker images, learning how to set up API architectures in terms of internal, external gateways, learning how to do CI/CD. We've taken all that out from our customers, and we've given a platform where our customers can focus most of their time on building what is unique and differentiating to them, on building the actual applications, right? And Choreo, the platform, takes care of everything from basically infrastructure to writing the code and managing the code, to doing CI/CD, to doing things like API managers, API management, to monitoring the system, to giving business analytics, everything in a single platform, right? So all of that is taken care of, by Choreo, and developers basically have to focus on the applications and the architecture of the applications, and that's it, right? Now the same we have done with Asgardio on the CIAM side. So Asgardio is basically our custom IAM as a service product. So Asgardio is basically for giving that CIAM experience for our customers. So it is its intention is basically to provide a set of APIs that reflects the personality of each customer, of each user actually, right? So that's its intention and vision. So with Asgardio and Choreo, you basically get a platform where you can identify what your users are doing on the system, right? Get a sense of the personality of the users. That will help you gain insight into building personalized experiences, right? That's the goal of Asgardio. And of course, both these products are built on our foundational products. Like Choreo is built on WSO2 API Manager, but it's just not focused on API management only. API management is a first-class feature on Choreo, but it's a much more broader platform that addresses the end-to-end needs of getting something from an idea all the way through to production. Same with Asgardio, it's built on the WSO2 identity server, but it's a much more broader platform that addresses all the needs of CIAM, right? So this is basically showing you a picture of Choreo and its capabilities, right? So as I mentioned before, it addresses everything in the software development lifecycle, right? So all the way from writing the code. So we have a way where we use Ballerina for implementing services and APIs, right? So if you want, you can use Ballerina for implementation. And Ballerina is unique in the sense that it has a graphical and a code-based mode of programming. So every line of code that you write can be represented in a diagram, and when you change the diagram, the code automatically gets updated. So it's has a single source of truth. So you can develop in Ballerina, but it's not restricted to Ballerina. You can develop in other languages and bring in your code as well. And it's tightly integrated to JIT. So so you don't actually even need to worry about source code management. It's already done for you, and if you can bring in your repositories as well if you want to, right? And so that's the development aspect. And then there's the build aspect. So it comes with a default CI/CD pipeline. So with a single click of a button, you can basically get your code deployed into an environment. So there are default environments in Choreo, dev and prod. So, and you can add your own environments as well. So it's not even with a click of a button, right? When you commit a piece of code, Choreo will automatically take it and deploy into an environment. So developers or organizations, they don't have to worry about building their CI/CD pipelines, and all that stuff. It's already done for you, and it gets deployed into a Kubernetes cluster. So you automatically get, things like high availability, auto scaling, auto healing. You inherit those things without even having to know anything about Kubernetes at all. So it's all abstracted away for you. And you can basically run it on your private cloud in your own account, or you can run it on the SaaS like provided data plane as well, right? And then you can expose these as APIs. As I mentioned before, it's running on the WSO2 API manager. So there's first-class API management in place. When you deploy a component, it is exposed through an API gateway, so security is applied automatically. You don't have to worry about how to architecture for internal versus external APIs. All that is done for you in the platform. So you just have to select whether you need to expose an API internally or externally. All the gateway architectures and all have been pre-configured. There's a marketplace which gives you both a public and a private view. So the public view is all the stuff that are out there in the world, right, which you can connect to. And the private space is for your organizations. So for reusing and sharing your components within other teams within your organization, the marketplace has capabilities to do that. And there's a built-in developer portal. So there's API management built in, there's business insights, there's observability built in. So you get all details related to TPS, error logs, errors, and everything. You get all of it built in a platform. And there's AI and security as well. So we integrate with Asgardio for security. So if you want to bring in your users, authenticate them, you can use Asgardio, or you can use any other IDP like Okta or Microsoft or whatever that you're using as well. So all of those are supported. So the bottom line is, this is a platform where we take care of everything, and we let developers focus on their code. Right? Once they give us a code, we take care of everything related to putting it into production, which includes API gateways, developer portals, and everything, right? Security. So that's the power of the platform. So this is what we have launched a couple of months back in GA state, and we do have a few paying customers on it as of now. Now, Asgardio, similar story. So Asgardio, as I explained before, is addressing the CIAM side of the business. So CIAM has like two versions. There is the CIAM 1.0 part, which addresses the usual features that you're familiar with, things like single sign-on, multi-factor, bring your own identity, right? All of those stuff. So Asgardio provides all of these things, and you can bring in your applications. And Asgardio gives you a very nice and seamless way of integrating the logins for your applications with Asgardio through a no-code like experience, graphical experience. And CIAM 2.0 is something that is going to be out very soon, which is going to be the actual thing that is going to give the personality information for your APIs. So CIAM 2.0 features are coming up very soon in Asgardio. So both these products integrated together will give you a very detailed view of the personality of your users. So what you see here in the middle are basically these personality APIs that I talked about previously, which are exposed so that you can make decisions based on the personality of those users and give that Google-like experience that people or our customers are expecting, right? So that's basically the story of Asgardio. Now, at the end of the day, our vision is to provide what we call our vision is basically to take care of all the foundational aspects required for organizations to innovate and differentiate, right? So with Choreo and Asgardio, we will basically be taking care of the foundational services that you see at the bottom here, which includes things like marketplaces, development related stuff, operations, and governance of it. So that organizations can simply focus on the application architecture, which includes things like building APIs, right? Building their microservices, building the different integrations, and bringing in their identities and so on, right? So that way, organizations can really focus on creating those experiences and offload the rest of it to the platform, which includes things like infrastructure management, security, and all that stuff, CI/CD, Kubernetes, and all that stuff, right? So that's basically where we want to get to. And at the end of the day, our aim is to get to this stage where our customers will be spending 75% of their time instead of 25% on the actual innovation and actual building on the actual differentiation. So that's the goal. And we take and they can focus on just a little 25% on the actual infrastructure side of things. So that's basically our vision for the platform. And as I mentioned before, our open source products are going to continue and they are going to power these platforms. So our customers who still want to use PO API management, for example, can use the latest available version of API Manager, and there'll be a new version coming out. Same story for our identity server. If there's someone who just wants to focus on IS, they can use that, the latest version or the new versions to come in. Yeah, but from a futuristic point of view, what we are aiming for to help our customers. So yeah, that's the story, and that's our vision for the WSO2 platform. Thank you so much. And I guess there are some sessions following up after this. So if you have any immediate questions, you can shoot now, or I'll be here for the Q&A session back again in a couple of hours as well.
Nuwan maybe later.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.